Welcome back, sewists. I want to start by saying you are such a kind and lovely creative community. Thank you for all the kind words you said on my last video. I know I missed a week in there, and I cannot say enough about what a wonderful community you all are. I'm very grateful for all of you. Thank you for all the kind words and encouragement while I took the time to let my back heal. I am over 80% better. I can sit again. So we will be back to sewing next week. However, this week I have something else I want to talk to you about. Since we were last together, I made a quick trip to Kansas City to see my kid, which was the most important thing to me after injuring my back, was that I could see them before they headed on their big move to California. So I did get to do that. Then I came home, cleaned house, we had company, lovely. I pretty much did nothing else. I really did try to do my best to clear the slate of all of the things I planned on doing. You know how it is when you make lots of plans, that's when you get injured or sick and everything goes out the window. Thankfully, I was able to do the two most important things, which was seeing my kiddo and then have the company come. Everything else is now getting back to normal. The other thing that happened in all of that is our air conditioner went out here in the upstairs where my sewing room is, and I'm in Oklahoma, and it was actually over 100 degrees in my sewing room. So even though I started feeling better, I was not up here sewing. So today it got fixed. It's still in the 80s up here, but it is slowly cooling. So if I suddenly look a little flushed, it is because we are just now getting it cool, but I am able to get up here to record this for you. So what are we talking about today? I want to talk to you about the state of the sewing and craft industry. You may have heard or seen some headlines that the big four, Simplicity, McCall's, Vogue, and Butterick, were sold for liquidation for $1. And I wanted to find some facts. We know what happened to Hancock's and JoAnns, and it's a little scary for us creatives right now when we see a lot of our suppliers and manufacturers disappearing. So what is going on? What is the state of this creative industry? One thing I found when starting to do my research is that the creative and artistic pursuits of Americans and even just people worldwide is on the rise. For the most part, it is the most popular it's been in 100 years. So if it's so popular and so many people are sewing and crafting, why are our suppliers suffering and not able to stay in business? So I went on a little journey to find some facts to share with you. I don't have all the answers, and I'm doing my best to keep it clear and keep it fact-based. We all know what happened to Hancock's and then JoAnns, so it's no wonder creatives and hobbyists and sewists are all very concerned. One thing that is interesting, and you may know, Michael's Craft Stores did buy some of the JoAnns assets. They bought quite a few of the things that are licensed or were JoAnns private label and are carrying them in the Michael's stores. And we're going to come back to Michael's here in just a minute. So how popular is sewing in the USA? I found an article from K-Love that said that around 30 million Americans sew, and this is across all age groups and demographics. It's no longer something for women of a certain age. Another article I found on a blog by Scott Max. All of these articles or anything that I reference will be linked below. Included some good statistics and graphs. One statistic I found interesting was that the U.S. holds almost half the global arts market. In 2022, the USA craft sales market was $15.7 billion, and half of American citizens that were polled said that they were involved in some sort of creative pursuit or hobby. He has many other great statistics and information on artistic sellers, like people who are on Etsy, and also the global markets. If you're interested, again, linked below. It's hard to find facts and not sensational personal opinion on this topic, and I would like to recommend the Sewing Report Live. She's on YouTube, and I have watched her many times when trying to find facts about what's going on in the sewing industry, and that's what she does. She researches it, she looks up the websites and even the court documents and gives factual reports on it. I will have her linked below. Another one that had good information on the craft and sewing industry was called Inside the Hem. Looks like this. So those are two other YouTubers you can go to if you would like to find more information about just the state of the craft industry and like facts or what's going on in court documents, etc. So if arts and crafts are so popular, why are the largest suppliers being liquidated? So let's talk about the company that currently holds the major sewing patterns. This is DGA Americas. It is part of the IG Design Group, PLC, and it's based in the United Kingdom. Not only are they the holder of the big four pattern companies, McCall's, Simplicity, Vogue, and Butterick, but they also hold New Look, Quick Sew, and they distribute Berta to the Americas. They also own many of the Notion companies. So let's take a look at their website and the brands involved in the liquidation. So these are some of the brands affected. I've already named the patterns. Some of these are very concerning to me because these are things that we use every day. So let's look at some of these other brands. Offray, which is ribbon. Renew, which is ribbon. Wrights, which the first thing I think of is bias tape and hem tape when I think of Wrights. Bondex are iron-on patches and trims. These next few are buttons that we use all the time and have been around forever. La Mode buttons, Spectrum Warm and Spectrum Cool, Favorite Findings, Slimline buttons, another one that's been around forever. They also have the photo fabric. If you've ever used the fabric through your printer to quilt with or to do projects. They have Organic Elements, which are buttons that are made of like coconut wood, that sort of thing. Flair Originals, another button company. Le Bouton buttons. They have Easy Quilting, which are rulers and other quilting accessories like that. Dimensions, you may recognize as needlepoint kits. Feltworks, Paintworks, and Pencilworks, which are more paint or color kits. The Feltworks are felting supplies. Boy, B-O-Y-E. This is one I use a lot, and I buy them at Hobby Lobby and everywhere, and it's where we get our knitting needles and our crochet needles or crochet hooks. This one concerns me a lot. They also have Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo, which are the rubber stamping and inking supplies. Perler, which are those melting beads. If you have kids, my kids' age, Perler were really big for a while. You put them on the little board and you can in a design, and then you iron it and it sticks together and makes a design. They have Berwick Offray, which are ribbons and laces, and they also have McGinley Mills, which are ribbons. In addition to all of this, they have children's craft kits and supplies and many other things. They are an international company, and the thing that they sold off is the stuff that comes to America. So what does this mean? Are we going to have to go all in on indie patterns? Will we have to order directly from Europe if we want some of the big four patterns? Will we no longer have buttons, bias tape, crochet hooks, or knitting needles? Are we losing another quilting supplier? Maybe. This is what it looks like. It appears that they were just not making enough profit, especially since JoAnns closed, on their American products, on their things that they sell in America. And their hope is by using this third-party liquidation company, their assets that are profitable or are valuable will get picked up by another company and continue on. Those that are not valuable or profitable enough in the Americas will disappear. So when you look at what they have, I would really be surprised if Offray, Boy, Wrights, and a lot of those disappeared. It seems like they would be pretty valuable and will be picked up. I would also say the same for the major pattern companies. I would be really surprised if they also disappeared. Now, just because I would be surprised doesn't mean it can't happen, but so far it hasn't happened, and they are in the process of trying to find buyers for the valuable assets. So let's go back to Michaels for a minute. Because Michaels bought some of JoAnns' assets, you're going to see their blizzard fleeces, their calico fabrics, and they had a brand I want to say it was like Fabini, something like that. And it was their private label notions. Some of those things in a different name will probably show up. I wanted to head to a Michael's and just do a walkthrough and see what they look like. I will be honest, I have not been in a Michael's in maybe 3 years. I think the last time I visited Michael's was when I still lived in Kansas, and I've been in Oklahoma nearly 3 years now. I used to go quite a bit, but I don't. They don't sell enough of what I need, and I don't visit them, and they're a little far for me for just popping in to see what's up. I was going to do it for this video, but I couldn't get the video out in time and also take a field trip. However, I did find somebody who did that for us. They live in the New York area, and I think they visited 4 of their local Michaels just in the last few weeks. Their name is, let me look at their name. This is Timothy Totten. He has a YouTube channel. The first YouTube video I ever watched was the one of him visiting Michael's, but I am linking that video below for you if you kind of like to see what's up before you venture out yourself for it. I will say the Michael's stores have not grown. Most of them have not been expanding. They've just been adding to their line. So I would expect these areas to be small and a little disorganized, but I don't know. Let's look at their website, however, and I have set mine for my local store so we can see what's in stock and what can be shipped. So this is Michael's.
You'll notice it shows JoAnns and Michael's up here in the corner. And we'll just scroll down. License prints I see right away, and sewing machines. This Loops and Threads is Michael's private label, and they have yarns and lots of other things available under that label. So let's see, yeah, they have quite a bit shown right here on the front page of new things, fabrics, especially license prints. They're really showing those off. And here we can see dress forms and lots of other sewing related supplies, including sewing machines. I think they've always carried 1 or 2 little machines. So these are some of the things that come up in notions. I'm curious to see what they say is available for my area. Lots of threads and needles, spray adhesive, a lot of these things I think they have carried in the past. And I am noticing a lot of this is not available in stores. I have got mine set to 41st Street location in Tulsa, and I am seeing that some of these are available. They've got elastics. This is one of their Loop and Thread brand. So this is one of their private labels under elastic, something to compare or compete with Dritz. I also see Overlock cone thread here. Lots of different types of pins. They have a lot of nice things. There's gingham, there's satin, there's denim. So, a wide variety. I recognize a lot of these prints as things that I have seen at JoAnns, including that minky dot up there. All right, I'm putting in knits, but I'm getting everything. So let's go back and put in knit fabric. Okay, so some of these we've already seen as we were scrolling through, and I recognize the Fabric Merchant brand. Yeah, some of these I own, including this cute little eyelet here. I have it in white, and I did buy it at JoAnns. So they have a lot. Now this is online. As far as in the store, I'm seeing not as much available. And I'm not surprised. I would expect that because their locations, the buildings are not any bigger, but the things they're carrying they've expanded their line. Something I am noticing are these notions down here are some of the brands that are up for sale in the current liquidation. And of course, let's head on over and look at some more fabrics. They've got a little bit of everything. Some chiffons, the iridescent taffetas. It sort of looks like a burnout velvet. Lots of things for costuming and fancies, it appears. A lot on sale. I'm noticing some red price tags. This is called a velvet, but it really looks like a heavy whale corduroy almost. I have purchased this one before, and it's on a good price. Let's have a look at it. Not available at my store, but available for delivery. See, it even has a little tag, goodbye, $6.99 a yard. Not bad. Now let's look at, it looks like you can get it 1 yard increments when you're ordering. And now let's look at that daisy fabric that I saw that I recognize that I own and have a quick chat or a quick look at it. Okay, here it is. And it came in lots of colors. I see the blue and the pink, and it's $3.99 a yard. This is a quilter's cotton calico type fabric. It's super cute, reasonable, not available in stock near me. There it is in the black background. Yeah, I'm not seeing it available near me, but it is reasonable, and it looks like not every color is on sale in this pattern, not every colorway. But they have a lot available. I really like Daisy. Daisy's very appealing to me. Okay, this blue one here is available in stock. And it even says there's 4 in stock. I'm assuming that means 4 yards. So they do have some fabrics locally. I have bought this fabric before. This Fabric Traditions. Interesting. Interesting to see what's going to be available to us. We're going to look at some knits real quick. I'm always interested in knits. I do so a lot with knits, and they have quite a bit. You can see huge price range. This one I think is because you can buy it by the yard or the bolt, and more than a bolt, maybe by multi-bolts or rolls. When you see such a large price as that for a knit. I recognize this one right here. This is beautiful. This also looks familiar to me, and I may just have something very close to that. So these are some of the knits available, and I'm looking to see. One of the things I'm noticing is that these are being shipped by third-party retailers. So you'll notice the names here of some of these, and you can see that they're not you'll notice that these are being shipped by third-party retailers or maybe associate companies to Michaels. So you'll see the names here are not Michaels that they're being shipped through. And that's just interesting to me. You can see these are shipped by Radyan in this particular one. And then there's some other companies down here too, depending on what you're looking at. So that's interesting. I noticed that for some of the notions and other things also. Okay, I have to check out this Poochie floral knit pleat. I think this is one I need to own. I do love Poochie, and the colors are lovely. And oh yeah, it's that micro pleated fabric. I've sewn with this before, and I really like it. It also is interesting that in most of the pictures they show it pleated, and in one they don't. I don't know if the unpleated is so you get a better view of the design. Almost $15 a yard and not available in stock near me. Now we're going to check out notions, threads, etc. and see what they're showing in stock. And I am looking specifically to see if I can go in and pick something up if I needed to. And I'm seeing a few that show in stock. Most of these are shipped to me, not available at the location I chose. And again, I'm seeing third-party company that is shipping these out. Hey, I can go pick up some denim top stitching thread, however, locally. That's good to know. There's quite a couple of these that they show available, and they show quite a few buttons, and some of these are in stock. They've always carried some of these things, so I think the main thing is that their online availability for a lot of these products is going to be growing. Again, we've got some of those companies, the La Mode here, that is up for liquidation. Now, I saw advertised dress forms, so I'm just curious to see what they show. But they do have some good or better, like this Dritz one here. And then they have some of the little mini ones, and they even have a mannequin, a true mannequin. So they do have quite a few different dress forms available. Let's check out interfacing now and see what they have. And I see Heat and Bond and Pellon. So that's good to know. They do have quite a few different available and in weights. And I was hoping it wouldn't all come prepackaged, which is usually in the past, which it's been a while since I've bought anything from Michaels. The only way to get interfacing was to buy a little prepackaged to have 1 yard or 3 yards of whatever in it. And now I see that you can buy entire bolts or by the yard. excellent news, and I'm looking to see if any are available. Again, just curious what's available locally. So far, okay, this one is available locally, the Pelon Flex Foam. So they do have some. That's also used a lot in crafting. They do have interfacings. And one more thing to mention is that I noticed at the bottom of the page, they do have coupons or sort of sale items where you can see it's just sort of like the fine print at the bottom, but you can see they do have things for like coupon type sales available. Most of those are available only for online purchases, I noticed. Let's check out the sewing machines. And they have a huge selection in quite a few price ranges. They have a lot of the very inexpensive ones, a lot of portable ones, but then they have this huge brother super fancy combo machine that's over $10,000 also available. I would just say to you, if you are thinking about spending that kind of coin on a sewing machine, buy it from an actual sewing center that does classes that you can go in and get service and a good warranty from. Speaking as someone who has sold sewing machines in the past and also bought expensive machines, it is worth it if you have anything available to you to buy it that way. But they do have a lot. Something I did notice that was surprising to me is they have the Bernette, which is considered the Bernina little sister brand, and they do have some Bernettes. They have everything. Embroidery machines. They have some overlock machines. They have some industrial and light industrial machines. So a little bit of everything here. Almost all of it is online, however. And here we see good old Gingers, Fiskars, all the usual suspects in scissors, including little stork scissors. Yeah, they've got rotary cutters. They've got scissor collections you can buy, whole sets of scissors in lots of price points. And I'm looking, quite a few of the scissors are available at my local shop. It's nice to see all the Ginger things, and it looks like the Fiskars they carry in the stores. The Gingers mostly look like you would have to special order those. And they have quite a bit of the rotary products and cutting mats. All right, this is something I'm super interested in. I would like a new one of these cutters. I have a very old one from the 60s. It does cut, but not great. I would like this nice heavy-duty one. I think I would use that. Now we're going to check out the quilting. And I didn't put anything specific in, but they do have the Fiskars brand rulers. They've got some threads. They have batting. So all the things you would sort of expect in quilting. And of course, they are carrying a lot of the calico cottons, and they're carrying fat quarters and collections also. So you can buy like pre-cuts in lots of things. So lots available in the quilting department. Some of these are in stock at my local store, and some are, most are available for order. Look at a few more things. Wow, they even have some sewing furniture available for order. Again, most of these are shipped through third parties. All right, here's the Schmetz. This is something that's important to me. I love to be able to go in and grab the specific needle I need, especially if I'm working on something special. And most all of these are available at my closest Michael's. You can see most of them show them as available. So excellent news. Not all of them, but a lot of them. That's great news for me. I do have a Hobby Lobby that's even closer and a Walmart that carries some, but it's good to know that I have another option. Now, Hobby Lobby is the closest fabrics and craft store available to me, and they have in the past had a 40% coupon every week that you could use on one item, and you could go in every day and reuse your coupon. They got rid of that system, and then they started doing rolling 40% off sales. Sometimes it was once a month, and then it went to like every other week. You would go in and the fabrics would be 40% off, the whole department, which I loved, and I just waited to buy my fabrics when they were on sale. Something that I have found out that they are going to do is they are no longer doing 40%, they're going to 30%, and it may not be as often. That's just a new corporate change that has come down from on high. So just another warning for the things will be available, but the prices may be less.
Some of the things that brands we've talked about today are sold at Walmart and Amazon and Hobby Lobby. So these are everyday products or everyday brands that we have been able to use, well, pretty much our whole sewing lives. So I also noticed when on the Michaels website that a lot of these button brands and the Notions brands were sold at Michaels that are in the liquidation sale for the DG Americas liquidation. Quick outfit of the day, fashion alert. I made this a few weeks ago. This is a little top and I have the little cami below. I'll have the both of these linked below if you would like to sew them. These are the videos where I made them. This one, it was a remake. The original video, I made it in a different fabric, but the same thing. And I actually have two videos on this. The original one, that's all the way sew through, and the second one where I show how I changed it up and did the little picot stretch elastic on it. So if you'd like to sew with me, this is where you can find those videos. They will be linked below. So my goal here was just to inform and not to fearmonger or make anyone afraid. I really would like to start discourse with all of you though, and if you have heard or know anything, if you've quizzed anybody that you've come across in the industry that has some insider information, I would love to know it and put it down below. I have to say I'm so thankful for the PDF patterns and the indie pattern companies. I have done a couple of videos on indie pattern companies, and if you would like to see some reviews, I go through their websites and discuss either patterns that I've sewn or what I think of what's available, or just to give you a quick overview. These are the two videos that I've made on PDF patterns and be linked below. The description box this time is going to be really full, but it will have lots of great information I hope to share with you. Hey, any of you out there want to start a fabric store and sell some of our favorite things? I do have a project ready for next week. It's all prepped and ready to go, so we will be back to sewing together next week. The air is coming on. It's getting cooler and cooler in here. Oh, I'm so grateful. If you've been here for a long time and haven't subscribed yet, please do. It doesn't cost anything. It'll let you know when I post a new video. It also boosts my algorithm and shares it to other sewists who might like to be part of this community. See you next week for another fun video.